Hi YouTube, it's Jessica. Welcome back to my homestead here at Big Ridge. And I apologize, we have tried to upload several times last month's video. We did a garden tour. The kale was in full bloom, or not full bloom, but in its full glory. And the peas looked very beautiful. Well, now the kale is pretty much completely gone. The peas have been pulled, and we are getting into the very miserable, very hot and humid. We have had upper 90-degree weather here in Indiana. We have also had a lot of rain here this past week. It's getting ready to storm now. I'm trying to get this in. Let's see if I can get a clip of the sky here. The clouds are rolling in. It is just really miserable. But I'm going to back up and start the view. So this is the entrance to my garden. I am very happy with the way the garden looks this year. Got pole beans growing there on the trellis. They are a little packed in there, so they're not doing a ton of production right now because of that. And these are my bush beans. Those are very happy and thriving, and I can't keep up with the bean picking. There's my basket that I have down there to pick my beans. But basically my garden, if you haven't seen my previous garden tours, I have pallets around the garden and then a snow fence. It's a 40-foot snow fence. I have 2 rolls, one on each side, and then the ends are the pallets. And it seems to do pretty good. Traffic going down the road. This is the squash plants. They are doing okay. We are having a pest control issue this year with both the squash and the zucchini. The zucchini has been getting the vine borers in it. We have only gotten like a handful of zucchini. And you know, zucchini is a prolific producer. Usually you can't keep up with it, and the vine borers seem to kill the plants as quickly as they come on. But, you know, that's garden life when you try to do organic gardening. But this year we went ahead and bit the bullet and started using some Sevin Dust because we were losing zucchini plants almost one a day to the vine borers. And so what we did, we replanted them, put as soon as we saw the seedlings pop out of the ground, we put Sevin Dust on them. And so we're getting ready to start a few more plants because we really love zucchini, and I plan on dehydrating it and freezing some for like zucchini bread, but doing like the zoodles, and then do like a bird nest type like piles when I put them in the dehydrator. That way they fit right in the jars, and I could take them out and you know, cook them like that. So, and then going back to the green beans, this variety is the Blue Lake. It doesn't get like too terribly big. I'm trying to find, this is about the average size of a bean that grows on this pole bean, and that's just, for me, that seems to be the case. So I've been overall really happy with the garden. Here are my sunflowers. Let's see if I can get the heads in here for you. These are like a miniature variety, so they're not like the full size, but they're all different. This one here is my favorite. Let me get it. Come on, pick up. Zoom in. I love the colors on this. It's kind of like a brown and orange and yellow. It's just a beautiful sunflower. My daughter says that's her favorite sunflower as well. She said it looks fake. It's so perfect and real, you know, real, like, symmetrical. And so, and then these are some other sunflowers. These all came from the same packet. They're all supposed to be this evening, I don't remember what it was called. Evening something. Evening mix. That's why. I saw the tag. It says evening mix. So I guess there's several different kinds in here. But I'm going to save the seeds from this one. Because look at this. It has a sunflower like all through here. This is just one plant. And there's several sunflowers. They're just little sunflowers. And the bees love my sunflowers. So definitely going to be planting more. And then the zinnias. My zinnias don't look as pretty as other people's, but they just, I know they're in the shade of these sunflowers, so that's part of it. You know, they're full shade loving. But let's see. We've got pole beans growing all along the outside on the snow fence, except for underneath this big maple tree because it's too shady and nothing much grows under there. Also, another really long row of bush beans. I have so far put up 5 cases of beans this year, which is way more than I did last year. But we did, you know, put more in. And as you see, the kale is so bug eaten. It is completely done for. And this just happened in like a week and a half that the bugs just wiped this out. And then we have the pepper plant. This is the purple pepper from Baker's Creek. Forget what it's called. I have been terrible about remembering names, and that's just my flaw. I'm terrible at it. And I need to get in here and weed, because now that we've had rain pretty much all week, the little bit of weeds that were here have just like exploded. And this here is a fish pepper from Baker's Creek. It's basically a hot pepper. Still don't have any peppers on it, but they'll come, hopefully. And then, let's see. A couple cucumber vines coming on. Okra, gotta get that. It's all growing up here underneath this. And I have some that was out front that I didn't mention, and there's also a spaghetti squash out there. Sorry for the rushed video, but I'm trying to beat this storm. It's really rumbling off in the distance. More zucchini plants, and then my tomato garden and my noodle beans. I'm really happy they're finally coming in. I was worried that I wasn't going to get any. This is just the coolest thing. I just love these things. And you can get these at Baker Creek. They can get up, they said, to 3 feet long. So this is my first year planting them. And it's really cool how they do. They get these little flower pods on them. Let's see if I can get that. This is how the flowers are. They're just the weirdest looking thing. It's just like a little pouch, so to speak. And that bean is forming inside of this little pouch. I don't know if you guys can tell. See, there's like a little point there. That little bean's in there, and it's probably about that long right now. And it forms in there, and then it'll push. Let's see, and get the sun here. the light, it will push the pod off the end and it'll just keep growing. It's really cool how that is. But I harvested a couple yesterday. We're going to try to make some stir fry and see how we like them. And that will determine if I plant more. I think I will probably plant them just because I like looking at them and the way that they grow. I put 2 different varieties. There's the red, or what they call purple, and then the regular. But I just think they're so cool. And then I've got my first few baby tomatoes that we've harvested this year. Not too much going on as far as ripening. We've got a few blushers out here. With all this rain this week, we have been in a drought. We hardly had any rain. And then this past week, it's just exploded everything out here, and I'm afraid it's going to crack the tomatoes because I'm already seeing there's a bad spot on that. But that's not from the rain, that's from something else. Doesn't look like blossoming rot. It was probably just a bug. But got some more tomatoes on here that need to be picked. I believe these are the starts with a B. It's a cherry tomato variety. As you see, well, it's a saladette size. It's just a small tomato. But I do have a full-size blusher down here. And this is probably either a beefsteak or a red brandywine. So I'm excited for that. And then, as you see, we got some blight coming on in the garden. This started with the rain. Of course, that's what causes it. We were having, like I said, upper 90-degree weather. And the heavy dew in the morning from all of the humidity. And it just causes disease on the plants. And this blight is really starting to take over and do some damage to the plants. I know over here it's really bad. I've gone through here earlier this week and cut off a bunch, but I'm not going to be able to stay ahead of it. It's just going to be probably the demise of the plants, which is really sad. I was hoping that we would have lots of tomatoes this year. One of the things I noticed with my tomatoes is that the plants get big and healthy, but there's not a lot of fruit on them. So we are going to do something different next year. We are going to not prune half of the plants and see if that helps the production. We've been pruning them pretty much, since they were tall enough. Basically, we come in here and we get rid of these suckers and pull them all out. But what we found on a few of them that we let go is that they started bearing fruit, or fleece flowers. So next year we're going to have the same varieties, do a little bit better job of keeping track of what's what, whether it's invest in better marking tags, better markers. That way we have the same varieties and same conditions and see what works better. They're big and beautiful, but like my neighbor, his aren't very big, but he's got tons of tomatoes on his. And mine are big with small tomatoes or, little sucker. Do you see that? He's got to go. Tell you, I wish the chickens didn't eat my tomatoes. I would let them loose in this garden. There's so many pests in here. And then obviously there's a lot of weeds. And because when it gets this hot, I cannot get out here. But believe it or not, I have hardly pulled any weeds this year. And basically I've just come in here and harvested green beans, harvested zucchini, harvested, you know, the squash and kale and peas and, you know, whatnot. But I haven't hardly done any weed control or pest control, apparently. This was, like I said, this happened just like in a week and a half. They've completely come in here and just annihilated everything. I used to have carrots planted in here. Neighbor's cat has been coming in here and using it as its litter box. Even though I have the fence up, it still gets over and scratched up all of my carrots. When it would bury its poop, I was so upset. So, and this is what that vine borer does. It comes in here and destroys the vine from the inside out. And so that's all that's left of this one plant. So it needs to be pulled out. And that's pretty much the way it's been going. Which is very disheartening. But that's the progress of the garden. I'm not going to do like the berries and all that today. I'm going to still see if I can get last month's video to upload. But I've got to cut this video. It's starting to sprinkle and the storm's moving in. So thanks for watching.